An Alcon Monarch D cartridge has been chosen for insertion in a 2.75 millimeter incision. This cartridge is designed for insertion through 2.2 to 2.4 or above. Cartridge is designated by a small stamp D on its lower tab. The chamber of the cartridge is filled with room temperature viscoat until it reaches the back end of the cartridge. A small bolus of viscoelastic is placed at the edge of the lens disc. A lens loading forceps has been chosen that gently holds the lens and allows easy maneuvering of the lens into the lens cartridge. The lens is grasped by its haptic, lifted from the case and laid on the bolus of viscoelastic, then re-grasped at the haptic optic junction and lifted from the disc. Lens orientation is confirmed by aligning with the print on the top of the cartridge. The leading haptic is then gently nudged over and onto the optic as the optic is advanced into the chamber of the cartridge. With jaws closed, the forceps are directed carefully over the lens and then down onto its surface, pushing it into the concavity of the lens chamber. Forceps are lifted up and withdrawn. The trailing haptic is then grasped, placed over the lens optic, and compressed into the chamber as the lens is simultaneously advanced. The two reflections on either side of the cartridge signify that the lens has adopted the appropriate U shape within the concavity of the cartridge. With the plunger fully withdrawn, the cartridge is placed into the Monarch 3 handpiece. Once its tabs are engaged in the groove, it is slid forward until it locks into place. The plunger is then advanced until the threads meet the body of the injector. 2 full turns of the screw then lock the lens into place for implantation. This implantation will be done through a 2.75 millimeter incision. The lens is advanced to near the end of the cartridge tip, and with bevel down, the tip is inserted through the incision and into the anterior chamber. With the bevel pointing toward the capsular bag, the lens is then slowly injected into position. The plunger can be used as needed to guide the end of the trailing edge of the optic and haptic into the capsular bag.